Welcome to AI in 10. I'm Chuck Getchell, and every day I break down the biggest AI story in just 10 minutes. What it is, why it matters, and how you can actually use it. So you remember that friend who always said they'd start working out tomorrow? Well, Apple just said they'll have a brilliant new Siri ready by 2026, which in tech time means approximately the same thing. But here's the twist. This isn't another empty promise. Apple just announced they're completely rebuilding Siri from the ground up, and they're partnering with Google to do it. Yes, you heard that right. The company that makes your iPhone is teaming up with the company that powers your search. It's like McDonald's partnering with Burger King to create the ultimate burger. The new Siri will be so smart it can actually see what's on your screen and help you with it. Imagine having a super capable assistant who never sleeps, never gets annoyed, and can juggle 20 tasks while you're still figuring out what you had for breakfast. Let me paint you a picture of what Apple just promised. The current Siri is like that friend who can only follow very specific directions. Ask her to call mom and she's golden. Ask her to help me plan my weekend based on the weather, my calendar, and this article I'm reading about local events, and she basically shrugs and offers to search the web for you. The new Siri, she's going to be like having a really smart friend who can see your screen, knows your apps, and can connect the dots between them. Apple calls this on-screen awareness, which is tech speak for Siri finally opening her eyes. Here's how it works. Let's say you're reading an article about a restaurant on your phone. Instead of you having to copy the address, open Maps, paste it in, then switch to your calendar to check if you're free, the new Siri can see that article on your screen. You could just say, "Can I go there Thursday?" And she'll check your calendar, look up the restaurant hours, maybe even see if you need a reservation, all without you lifting a finger. They're powering this with something called Google's Gemini model. Think of it as the brain upgrade Siri desperately needed. The current Siri runs on what's basically a smartphone brain. The new one gets access to what amounts to a supercomputer brain. We're talking about going from a pocket calculator to a room full of scientists. But here's where Apple stays Apple. They're not just throwing your data into Google's cloud and hoping for the best. They built something called private cloud compute. It's like having a private jet instead of flying commercial. Your information gets processed on Apple's own secure servers, never touches Google's data collection machine, and comes back to you without anyone else getting to peek. The technical folks are calling this agentic AI, which sounds fancy, but really just means Siri will finally be able to do multiple things in sequence without you having to babysit every step. Today's Siri is like a toddler who needs constant supervision. Tomorrow's Siri will be more like a capable intern who can actually finish the project you started. Now let's talk about what this means for your actual life, because that's what really matters, right? If you're a parent juggling work and family, imagine saying, "Help me with tonight," while you're looking at your kid's school newsletter on your phone. The new Siri could see there's a bake sale mentioned, check your calendar to see you have a late meeting, scan your shopping list to see what you already have, and suggest either a quick recipe you can make with stuff at home or a bakery that's still open on your route home from work. For those of you running small businesses or side hustles, this could be a game changer. Picture this scenario. You get an email from a client while you're looking at your invoicing app. Instead of switching back and forth between apps, copying information, and hoping you don't miss anything, you could tell Siri, "Create an invoice for this project." She sees the email on your screen, pulls the agreed amount from your text messages with that client, checks your time tracking app for hours worked, and generates the invoice. What used to take 15 minutes now takes 15 seconds. And let's talk money for a second. If you're like most people, you probably waste time on repetitive tasks that this new Siri could handle. We're talking about saving 30 to 60 minutes a day on the little stuff. Planning, organizing, coordinating between apps, that's time you could spend on work that actually pays, or better yet, time you could spend not working at all. The privacy angle matters too, especially if you're handling sensitive stuff. Maybe you're dealing with health issues and need to coordinate between doctor appointments, insurance information, and your calendar. The new Siri could help you manage all of that without your medical information floating around Google's servers or being used to target ads at you. Here's something interesting. This isn't just about convenience. It's about reducing the mental load we all carry. You know that feeling when you're trying to remember 6 different things while also trying to figure out the optimal order to run errands? That's cognitive overhead, and it's exhausting. Having an AI that can actually see what you're looking at and help you think through it could be like having a really smart friend who's always ready to help you organize your thoughts. So what can you actually do with this information right now? Since we're not getting the full new Siri until 2026, you might think you're stuck waiting. But there are actually some smart moves you can make today. First, if you have an iPhone, make sure you're running iOS 18.2 or later. Apple has been rolling out early versions of their AI features, and playing with these now will get you comfortable with how the new Siri will work. It's like taking practice swings before the real game. The current Apple Intelligence features include things like better writing assistance and smarter photo organization. They're not mind-blowing yet, but they'll give you a taste of what's coming. Think of it as the appetizer before the main course. Second, start exploring the Shortcuts app on your iPhone if you haven't already. This is where you can create custom voice commands that already do some of the multi-step stuff the new Siri will excel at. You could create a morning routine shortcut that checks the weather, reads your calendar, and plays your preferred news podcast, or an end of workday shortcut that sets your phone to do not disturb, texts your family that you're heading home, and starts your commute playlist. Playing with shortcuts now is like learning to drive in an empty parking lot before you hit the highway. You're building the muscle memory for thinking in terms of connected tasks instead of individual app interactions. Third, take inventory of your apps and how they work together. The new Siri's superpower is connecting information between apps. So start noticing where you're manually copying information from one place to another. That's exactly the kind of busy work the new Siri will eliminate. Maybe you're always copying addresses from emails into Maps, or taking screenshots of receipts to remember to enter them in your expense app later, or switching between your banking app and your budget spreadsheet to update your spending. These are all perfect examples of tasks that will become seamless with the new Siri. Fourth, consider upgrading your device if it's getting long in the tooth. The new AI features need serious processing power. You'll want an iPhone 15 Pro or newer to get the full experience. Apple typically offers decent trade-in deals, and if you're planning to keep your next phone for several years, getting one that can handle the AI revolution makes sense. Here's a practical tip. If you want to experience what trillion parameter AI feels like before Apple's version arrives, you can try Google's Gemini app on your current phone. It'll give you a sense of how much smarter these new AI systems are compared to what we're used to. Just remember that Google's version doesn't have the privacy protections that Apple is building in. This announcement tells us something bigger about where we're all headed. We're moving into an era where AI isn't just a cool feature buried in settings menus. It's becoming the invisible assistant that makes everything else work better. Think about how smartphones changed everything, not because they were phones, but because they put the internet in your pocket. This new Siri represents a similar shift. It's not just a better voice assistant. It's the beginning of having a truly intelligent partner built into the device you carry everywhere. The fact that Apple is partnering with Google for this shows you how serious they are. Apple almost never partners with Google on anything important. They've spent years building their own alternatives to Google services. But for this, they swallowed their pride and made a deal. That tells you everything about how critical they think this technology is. For those of you worried about job security in an AI world, this is actually encouraging news. The new Siri isn't designed to replace human thinking. It's designed to handle the routine stuff so you can focus on the work that actually requires creativity, judgment, and emotional intelligence. It's like having a really efficient intern who never needs coffee breaks and never gets the details wrong. The privacy focus is huge too. Apple is showing that we don't have to choose between smart AI and keeping our personal information private. That's going to put pressure on every other tech company to up their privacy game or risk losing customers who want both convenience and control. We're also seeing the democratization of really advanced AI. The same technology that big corporations use for complex analysis is coming to regular people doing regular tasks. That levels the playing field in ways we're just starting to understand. This is your reminder that the future isn't something that happens to you, it's something you can prepare for and take advantage of. The people who start experimenting with AI tools now, even the basic ones, are the ones who'll be ready to leverage the really powerful stuff when it arrives. Apple just showed us that 2026 is when having an AI assistant stops being a novelty and starts being essential. The question isn't whether this technology is coming. The question is whether you'll be ready to make the most of it when it gets here. That's today's AI in 10. If you want to go deeper and learn AI with a community of people just like you, join us at aihammock.com. I'll see you tomorrow, my friends.